Hey, boss ladies. I hope you are having an amazing day today. You guys will not believe this woman. She's amazing. Kimberley Milousis, and I think I messed up her name, but she is the CEO of Empower Living. And wait till you obviously are seeing her right now, but wait till you hear her story. Remember, guys, I always say follow your passion, and I cannot wait for her to tell you her story. So, Kimberly, thank you for coming on the show. I'm really excited that you're here.
Oh, thanks so much, Vicky. It's such a pleasure.
Thank you. So, tell us, tell us what it is that you are doing now.
So right now you said the CEO of Empowered Living. That's exactly right, but it doesn't tell you a whole lot. So there's no, not at all. So there's a couple of big things I do. On the one side of Empowered Living, I am what's called a presidential diamond leader and a Canadian founder of doTERRA essential oils. So that's the essential oils, and that's really focused on natural health, and I love to educate people, and I run my team. So that's a big part of what I do. And on the other side, I have launched a course called Life More Abundantly, which really just trains people to walk and live in abundance.
I love it. Oh my gosh, you are perfect for us. Boss ladies, did you hear this is perfect because, our motto is we want to empower all women to follow their dreams. But, we are moms, we are daughters, we are wives, we forget about ourselves. So our passions usually gets put aside because we take care of everybody else.
Exactly.
And this is perfect. So tell us more about your course and what can you do?
So in my course, it was kind of born out of a combination of necessity and inspiration, which I think a lot of the great things are, right? So It started off as a customer education program. Now, when you understand what I do, it will make a bit more sense. But in the essential oil world, we kind of have a joke, and that joke is there's an oil for that, right? So no matter what you're dealing with, well, we've got an oil for that. So I would have people come to me, and they would have a laundry list of things that they'd be dealing with. Like, they have, fibromyalgia, they had heart palpitations, or, high blood pressure, diabetes. And like, this is all in the same person. And I'm thinking, how are you still living? And then their question to me was always, what oil can I use? And I thought, wow, you are expecting a lot out of an oil. Like, I don't have a magic oil in my back pocket that's going to deal with all of that. And yet in such a short period of time, I didn't know how to let them know, like, this is a big picture solution. It's not going to be just taking an oil. So I started off doing a customer education program, and I wanted them to learn that it was about what they ate, how they moved their body, what kind of thoughts did they put in their mind. All of that mattered when it came to their health. But then as I started writing the course, I really got into a self-reflective state. And I thought to myself, here I am, 50 years old. I have never felt more emotionally.
What?
Yeah, 50. It's the big 50, right?
I need all those oils. All that line. Oh my God, now I have to sit better because I need it.
You look great, honestly. You do need them, but you look great even without them. I mean, they benefit you for sure.
Okay, ladies, I'm not gonna lie. I did read that she was 50, and I already asked her this because I was like, is that an error there? Maybe it meant 30. Yeah, she really said she was, and I'm like, wow. Wow, you look beyond amazing. But go ahead, because I'm still can't stop staring at you. Okay.
Oh, thanks so much, Vicky. You're so kind. And having those words just, feed my soul as well. So it definitely helps. I'll receive that. But part of that is just I started reflecting and thinking, at 50, I feel more emotionally healthy, more physically healthy, I have more energy. I'm more physically active now than ever before. My skin is clear. I don't have a blemish anywhere when I had chronic cystic acne and eczema for most of my life. What is it? I'm more financially abundant than at any other time in my life. And so I thought, what is it that I did? And as I was explaining to you before, if it was something that just happened to me because, like, boy, aren't I lucky, well, that's not very hopeful. But if I actually followed some principles, and if I could actually teach those principles to other people, well, then anybody can walk in abundance. And so I started creating a course called Life More Abundantly, based on the principles that I follow to get financial health, emotional health, physical health, and spiritual health. And so there's 10 modules, 10 weeks in 4 segments of health.
Wow, that's amazing. And really, that is what it's all about. You know, one of the things, you know, I've always been a workaholic, and I've, in the past, many times, I've hired the wrong people, and I always had to step back into my business and whatnot. I finally have the right crew, and I've been like waking up. First of all, I've been sleeping all night, and I've been waking up with this like inner peace that I haven't, and I'm happy. I'm really happy. So I wish every single person can feel this, you know?
I know. And it's part of my message. I feel like, you know, I was at the point, you know, because I had a 20-year career at PricewaterhouseCoopers as a senior corporate tax manager. Like, talk about a shift. But, you know, at the end of all of that,
big shift.
A big shift, right? But when I was in my transition period, I kind of felt like, well, my best years are over. You know, I just got to wait around to roll over and die. And, you know, you kind of get this wrong way of thinking. But I really want people to know, who are especially my age, to say, no, you know what, your best years are yet ahead. We're just figuring ourselves out, for goodness sakes. We're just getting comfortable in our skin. Now is the time to start living. And I'm so glad that you experienced that.
Yeah. And it's true though. We're not old. I mean, you said it earlier. You said it's about your spunk. And I think it's so important because we really can go do whatever we want. And honestly, do you find it too, like the older you've gotten, you worry about, you don't sweat the little stuff. Who cares about that? You know, you're more vocal. You say what you mean instead of trying to please everybody.
Exactly.
So I think this is great that you're doing this for everybody else, because there's people, especially now, come on, there's so many people stuck at home. And they don't know what to do, and they're getting irritated. They're trying to get that magic pill. Yeah. There is no magic pill. There's no magic oil, let's say.
There's no magic oil. There's no magic pill. I wish there were, you know, but it's good old-fashioned hard work. And actually, that's good news, because that means that nobody's a victim, that everybody has the capacity to create what they want to create with their day and to become what they want to become in their life. You know, so it's so empowering.
I love this, because it's exactly what this show's all about. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want. So tell us, you said you were a CPA.
Yep.
Right?
Don't hold it against
What happened? What? Completely different. Yeah. How did you get here? I mean, what did you one day wake up and say, I'm just going to go do oils today?
Definitely not. No. You know, but I kind of think that a lot of us make decisions based on what we know, right? So I remember when I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do for university, here I was as a kid in high school. You know, you're 18 years old trying to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life, and you still didn't even know, you know, who you are as a person. And so it's a big decision. So I chose accounting because I figured, well, my mom's an accountant. And I remember going to the course that they had at my high school at the time, and they talked about 3 types of accountants. There was a CGA, there was a CMA, and then there was a CA, which is now a CPA, so Chartered Professional Accountant.
CGA? I never heard of a CGA.
Certified General Accountant. It was kind of more like the bookkeepers, you know.
Okay.
CMA would be more the management. So I didn't really understand anything of what he was saying, but I went to him at the end of the class and I said, which one makes the most money? And he said CA. And it's like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I decided I was going to be a CA, which is now CPA. I went to university. I got great marks. I graduated, and I just put my head down and did it because it was safe. It was secure. But, you know, you put your head up at age 40 something, whatever I was, and you realize I'm a prisoner in this beautiful window office that I have. You know, sure, I have a 6-figure income, but I'm not happy. I'm not where I want to be. And life to me was on the other side of my window, happening outside, you know, and here I was on the inside. So I had like a well-paid cage, but it was a cage. And I just decided that I wanted something more. But when I left my office, it was interesting because on the last day that I worked, I wrote the poem, Road Less Traveled, on the whiteboard. And you might remember how that goes, but the end says, you know, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And I left my work
Love it.
that day with that poem on the whiteboard, and I didn't even know what I was going into. But after a series of events, I ended up getting pregnant again, which was a big surprise. So now my oldest child is 28 and my youngest is 9. So that was a
Wow.
big surprise.
Big surprise. Big
I
surprise.
just had too much time on my hands. So I'm home. I've got this new child on the way, and I think, now what? I don't want to go back to my job. I just left that for the more. Where's the more? I'm not seeing it. I'm just pregnant. So, we tried house flipping. I bless you that you did well in real estate. We didn't do so great in that because we were living in the house we were flipping. But during that period of time, I had a friend. It was actually my real estate agent's wife. And she told me about these oils. I thought they were dumb, but I wanted to do her a favor. So I bought her silly little oils. And I then told her, don't put me on a mailing list. Don't talk to me about the business, because I knew it was a direct sales business. I said, I'm not interested. As a businesswoman, I always had people coming to me with, this direct selling opportunity or that. And it's like, I don't want to hear about it. Just don't tell me about it. But I started falling in love with the oils. And I guess the rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know we talked about this earlier, is a lot of the businesses you set out, that's not really how you end up. Like, it's got its life of its own, and it's going to come out, and it's all because of your passion, and you were passionate about the oil. Funny that you said, don't put me on the mailing list and whatnot. I am really, really intrigued. I'm really, really excited to see. I mean, you look fantastic. You look happy, that inner glow. I wish every woman out there could feel it. It's unexplainable. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to do the course, because if I have success, then that's great. But I feel like we're all called to not just be blessed, but to be a blessing. And I want other people to have the same opportunity, the same, hope that they can create whatever they want to create. And so, yeah, I love that that's your heart. That's my heart too.
There's no better feeling when you do that. And I mean, I tell everybody, 2 years I could have retired. And I said, nah, I'm going to go help how somebody else gave me a chance. And really, doesn't it make you feel good when you're out there helping, and then you see them reach it, and then they go and help somebody else? It's just kind of like a domino effect. I mean, I would hope they go and help other people.
Yeah, and I think, I had somebody ask me recently, how many hours do I put into my business? And the truth is that now I put in more than I did a while ago. And the reason for that is because in January, I had to do some soul searching, because I am at the top of my company. I am, there's only so much income anybody needs. I'm very, very grateful. I can kind of just sit on my success, so to speak, and just receive the residual income. I'm sure you're very familiar with that.
Yeah.
From what I've created. But in January, I had to ask myself, do I want to keep going? And my answer came back with a resounding yes. And this time it was very different than when I grew my business for the first reason. And that was all about me. That was about my need to succeed, my need to prove myself, my need to create income, practical, all of that. But now it was about others, because as I looked to my team members and I looked at the number of people who were affected and how many lives were empowered, I thought to myself, who am I to not give somebody else that same opportunity? There are other people out there who are just waiting for someone to believe in them, for someone to invest in them. And if those people come across my path, I want to be that for them.
And it's true. I mean, remember where you were at once, and now you're able to help, or even, I mean, you are very nice. You're very outgoing, and you're approachable. Just by you being you, I think can help someone. I mean, even if it's one person,
Exactly.
it just makes so much difference in the world. And I always think, what am I going to do after I retire? I am not, one of the things you said, and I was meaning to tell you, originally when I started school, that was my goal. I wanted to be a CPA.
Wow.
I went to school for a CPA. And and I'm gonna age myself, but do you remember Pactel Paging and AirTouch Paging, the
Not
paging company?
really. A paging
So
company. Okay, that's way back, right?
way
Yeah.
back there. So I had gotten an accounting rep #1, and I was, reconciliations, and I'd always work late, and there was like around midnight. And I remember I was the only one in this big building. Lights were on, and I heard the floor creak. And I looked up. That's when it hit me. I'm like, why am I here?
Oh,
I am like an outgoing person. This is a loner job.
it's so true.
You don't get to work with people. You don't get to socialize. And then it like all of it kind of flashed. So it's funny that you said you didn't want to do that. You were in prison. You were in your cell. It's true, because you don't go hang out with the accountant. Nobody going hangs out with the accountant.
Yeah, I mean, in my business, because I was a tax specialist, I led a team of tax people that I was training up, and the very favorite parts of my job would when they would come into my office and they would sit there and they would, tell me about, what they were struggling with, and I would help them and I would support them. But none of that time was chargeable. And
Yeah.
so I was never valued for the things that I loved the most.
Yeah.
And now in my job, I'm valued for the things I love the most. Investing in people is what I actually get rewarded for. And I feel like that's much better alignment.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's the reason you didn't set out for this business. It just kind of built itself at the beginning. Obviously, after you realize, wait, this is a business, then it would have been different. But like you said, no, don't put me on the mailing list. I just buy your oils,
I had to eat humble pie after that.
Yeah, this is amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And do you want to share with those ladies out there listening? You got a surprise for them.
I do. And so, I would love to be able to invest in your listeners. I mean, the reason why I want to continue to get the message out there is because I know that there's probably somebody listening who just needs that voice. They need that, sense of encouragement and hope. And if you're wanting to take the course, then you go to kimm.me/LMA, which means life more abundantly, and use the code DOWIT, so DOWIT, and you will get 20% off the cost of that course. And that's going to lead you through 10 weeks, although it really is a lifetime journey toward abundance, right? The 10 weeks will be there as a kind of beginning place in terms of information. So that's one way that I can support you. But if you want more direct support and you really feel like, wow, I want to build a business. I want to do what Kimberley does. I love natural health. Maybe she would invest in me that way. I would be honored to chat with you about that. And for that, you want to contact me at KimberleyMilousis.com. And so, Vicky, hopefully you're going to have that.
I'm going to put all the links. I'll put the links for everything, and I'll even put the do it. Now, all you guys better remember do it, or we're going to have some words.
Can't forget that one. Yeah, and if you decide that you want to get oils, then Do It is going to get you 20% bonus in oils. So it's a good word.
Yeah, definitely make sure you send all those codes and whatnot, and we'll get it out there. Thank you so much for being on the show. This is
my pleasure.
Beautiful. You are gorgeous inside and out. I mean, that's what's even better. Have an amazing day, and we'll be talking soon.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.